Hey, hello friends. Welcome to my channel SAP SD and ABAP League Support. Today we'll discuss about smart forms. First of all, what is smart form? Smart form is a transaction code used to develop the layouts. It's output layouts, and these layouts can be called anywhere, even though it is not associated with any of the output types. Still, we can call them anywhere wherever we required. The transaction code to access this smart form is smart forms. The T code is smart forms. So this is the T code. Here we can develop the smart form, and this T code is not only used for develop this smart form, but also we can develop the style and text model also. So whenever we receive any requirement from business to create one custom output type, then we should ask them whether the custom output type is relevant for any of the layout. Is it email output type or print output type? Is it layout change or not? If it's a layout changes, then we can go for smart form and develop the layout. If it's in a IDOC output type, medium 6 or A, then we can go ahead with our existing message types like, for example, if it is an order response means, then OR DRSP is the message type, and if it is an invoice means INVOIC, invoice. These are the two standard message types available for order and invoice. And if they want to add some custom segments or custom field into this IDOC, then we can go for extension of that IDOC. Okay, today we'll discuss about smart form requirement, how to gather the requirement, and how to fulfill this. And this is the sample FS that I'm going to go through, and this is relevant for that output development FS. So you see one layout screenshot here, right? So we should check with user, I mean the client, and understand how the layout should look like. You see here in the middle of this first page, middle of this layout, we are printing the heading as invoice. See, this is that F2 invoice layout output type. Like this, what is the text that we need to print in case of credit memo, debit memo, return invoice, right? Cash sales. Like this, we should gather information from business. Then, in this case, we are printing the logo on the right side. But we should check with the user also where exactly the logo should be printed, in the top or the left side or right side. Accordingly, we should develop the smart form. Then here we are putting the sales office address, okay, in the left side, and below that we are printing bill to customer address. On the right side, we are printing the sold to customer address, and here we're printing the invoice number, date, and tax point date. This is should be printed in the box. And you see, under the bill to address, we are printing payment terms, payment due date. On the right side in the box, we are printing again customer number, account number, VAT number, and we are printing some contact information like phone number, email address, and all. This is the top page of the layout. This is the fixed one. Okay, in the first page only we see this information. If I scroll down, you see one big window is here, right? Big table. It is the table where we can see the item information. What's the material number, the quantity, the price of that material, what's the total value of this material. Something we can see in this window. In ABAP terminology, This is called a main window. You see, we are printing the order number, right? Delivery number, date, and material number, right? Net value and description of the material. And you see quantity, volume, or weight, or liters, price per unit, total amount, and subtotal. And if I scroll down a little bit, in the footer, we see the total value of all the items, total net value of the all the items in the invoice, and what's the VAT percentage, right? And the invoice total including VAT. And we are printing some bank details as well in the footer. So this is the header, then main window, then we see footer. The second page onwards, we see only the item information only, not the main window. So main window address will be printed in the first page only. Second page onwards, we see only the item data. Okay, this is how the we should gather the rough layout design from business. Accordingly, we should design that layout and write the required logic. Okay, now let's go through the FS step by step. So remember, this is the FS for output design, smart form. So the object here is that we know objects, right? RISEF, RICFW. This is for the F. It's a form. It's a form object, form RISEF ID. So basically, here we should mention the name, who is developing this, who is drafting this functional documentation, FS, right? I will mention my name and the date issued. We can mention today's date, then development ID. So whenever we do any development for any of the requirement, then those functional specification document and technical specification document should be uploaded into the Solman solution manager. To do that, we should have the RISEF ID. Every change in the system will be identified with one RISEF ID. Okay, that we should mention here. So basically, it will start with LR9. It's a report, right? Sorry, it's a form, right? It should be LF. If it's a report, LE. Or if we are doing any changes in the user exit, then we should mention LE, something like this. Okay, as of now it's a form, right? Then we should mention LF. And here we should mention that the object, the task number. Okay, and here also my name, the owner of this document. Functional area, it should be OTC. It's R to cache, or you can mention SD also. Type of development, forms. Template version is 1.0. It's a market for this is applicable to the country UK. You can mention UK. If it's Germany, mention Germany, like this. And status should be draft. So is initial FM, sorry, functional model we're developing, right? So you can mention as in draft, right? We should fill all this information. Then you can see the table of content, which page we see which information. So under overview business requirement process flow section, we're simply mentioning about this output type. That layout should be according to the government law of that country, right? And this output can be used for different billing types: credit memo, pro forma, debit memo, rebates, F2 invoice, something like this. But this is only for domestic invoice. Whenever the sale happening inside the UK country, the customer also in UK, the company also in UK, the sale happening in the same country is a domestic sales. If the sale happening in different two countries, means it's a international sales. But this layout is for the domestic sales invoice. Okay, so the layout should be as per the government legal requirement. So that's what we have mentioned in this overview section. And So here we are mentioning about the same thing, like so a domestic invoice are sent to the customers when the goods and services are delivered to the customers located in the same country. In my example it's UK country, but same country sale happening, then it's a domestic invoice. Okay. And coming to the invoice branding, nothing but a logo. So currently the requirement from client is that logo should be printed based on the sales office only. If this is the sales office, this logo, other sales office, other logo should be displayed. Okay. Logo is controlled through the sales office condition. Then we need to print CMIR number from KD mat table. The field is KD mat and the table is KNMT, and material number from Mara table. Mat is the field, and customer service representation number is not required here, so we can leave it blank. And they want to print VAT number also. It's a customer VAT number, and payment method relevant to financial posting. And we should mention the VAT rate coming from that invoice VAT condition number, right? Those information will be retrieved from there only. And bank details. You see here decimal. So in the layout, how the value should be displayed. So the requirement here is that should be displayed in the rounding of two decimals only. If you see here, we see four digits after the decimal, but they want display only the first two of the decimal. That's why we see 0.00, and in this case, it is 5 means 1, so it's a 0.01. Ultimately, it will be 0.00, right? And coming to here, it's more than 5, right? It will become 0.01, and we are printing 0.01 only. So they want to round off till two digits only, and they are saying that the output language, the layout language should be in English only. You see, whatever the data that we are going to print in the layout, all should be in English language only. Everything should be in English. And coming to the document title, so you see the document title. So currently we are printing invoice here, right? We're printing invoice here. So basically the title will be derived from the billing type only. TVFK table is there, and a TVFKT table also is there, where we can see the layers. I mean the title of that billing type. One, let me open that. So let me go to SC16N. The table is TVFKT. Yeah. So if I give English language and billing type as F2, here I can see the description of the F2 billing type, right? So as per standard behavior, system will retrieve the description from this billing type only as the title. And you see here how the tax point date should be displayed in the layout, and VAT registration number for the company code, and company code address or sales office address should be displayed in the top left corner. And what's the terms and conditions in the footer level, and currency and pricing conditions, right? And you see the billing quantity. We have billing quantity field in VBRP FKIMG, and bill to address barcode, and this is for domestic. And you see the this is for F2 invoices logic, and for pro forma we have different logic to print certain things similar to F2 invoice only, but the pricing information will be retrieved from the one custom table. And in the final page also we are printing the different text. You see, pro forma is a dummy invoice copy. That's why we are printing that footer saying that this is not a tax invoice. A tax invoice will be sent following delivery. This is a separate thing. So for pro forma billing types, slight changes should be there. That should be done accordingly based on the billing type control. Okay. So in pro forma, we should remove that tax point date, and there is no barcode required in case of pro forma invoices, right? Similar way for credit note, debit note also, we have certain conditions here. We should satisfy that, right? So like this, we have lot of changes should be done in this function model, and share that with our technical team who can develop that smart form as per our requirement. Okay, so ABAP team will develop only the smart form. Functional team should develop the output type, create the new output type, condition table for that output type, assign the output type to the output pricing, output procedure, as access sequence development, and routine development. If existing routine is fine means we can go ahead with that. If a new routine means that we should inform to the ABAP team to develop the new routine, and the logic should be given by us only inside that routine. Then once the smart form is developed, okay, let me show in system. So I will go to the transaction code NACE. So here we look for the application V1. This is the V1 means sales, and output types. So here we develop that new output type. Okay, then maintain this title, processing routines, and partner function. We should maintain everything. So once that is done, then we should assign that driver program which is going to be developed by the ABAP team, and the smart form also we should assign here, right? This is our activity. ABAP team will develop the driver program and smart form and routine if required. Okay, so output setup, new output setup is completely done by both teams together. Okay, so again, whatever we discussed in that assumption requirement section, same thing is we are given written here also. Okay, so I would like to tell you one important user exit used to retrieve the data from the custom user exit, which will be called from the driver program. Okay, so this is the functional model LB build inv outp read data. So with the help of this function model only, system will try to retrieve all the required data to print in the invoice. So basically output will be assigned to the invoice, right? So mostly all the data what we see in the invoice will be displayed in the layout, right? Those data will be retrieved in the runtime from this function model. Let me go to SE37. So if I display this one, the function model is that LB bill INV OUTP read print data PRT data. So inside this function model, there is a user exit available. Okay, note down this function model. This is only for invoice data retrieval, invoice output time. This will be called in the driver program. Okay, this is called in the driver program only. And you see the user exit here, user exit bill PRT. So this user exit will be used to write the required logic. So in this user exit, we can add our custom logic to get all the data, the custom data. So remember this. Remember this is working based on the body. Body also user exit only. It's a class based user exit. Okay, class. Whoops concept is there in ABAP. That is class based user exit. So in this user exit, we can write our required logic to populate all the data as per our wish. And those data we can see in ES bill invoice. For example, let me open one of the output type. Okay, remember one of the important table, that is TNAPR. So the TNAPR is the table where we can see all the output relevant programs, smart forms and all. Okay, as of now, I'm giving the standard invoice output, that is RD00, and you click on execute. You see one driver program, that is SD invoice print 01. Copy this one and go to SC38, SC38, give this one display. Okay, inside this processing, get data. Okay, let me open that other one, RLB invoice. There you can see that function model getting called. Okay, SC16N. Okay, that is RLB underscore invoice. Yeah, let me do like this. Hmm. So let me open this driver program, RLB underscore invoice, display this one. Fine, anyways, this is not used in this function model, but we can use this function model, this one, LB bill INV output read print data. We can use this function model and retrieve the required data, custom data in the by adding the logic in the user exit bill PRT, right? And remember the table TNAPR. In this table, we can see all the required data relevant to the output type. Okay, in upcoming sessions, we will see the enhancements relevant to this smart form changes. So what custom logic has been added or we can add to get the different invoice title data, the title in the layout level, and how the pricing should be updated in the displayed in the layout. So everything we have an enhancement. Hereafter we can discuss about SAP Smart Form enhancement as well. Okay, fine friend. We can see later. Thank you. Bye bye.